for the very ancient practice of picture, story, recitation. Picture, story, recitation is a very old practice with its roots in the 6th century in India, which is where the whole thing got started. The Yamapataka had a painting on a cloth and sang songs about the pictures while showing them off in India, which is where the whole thing got started. La 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 la. Low orders of Brahmins carried paintings of gods from door to door, singing about the attributes of these gods and begging for alms. Of all the later forms of Indian picture story recitation, the pada is the most well-studied and still practiced today. The narrator is called the bopo, a word meaning priest for a minor folk deity. He sings the story, and his assistant, often his wife, holds a little oil lamp suspended from a little stick and illuminates the relevant part of the painting. Now, these were religious stories, and the paintings themselves were thought to have special healing and demon-dispelling powers. La 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 la. Then picture story recitation made its way through Central Asia with the spread of Buddhism to China. It came from India, which is where the whole thing got started. In China, the Pian and the Baochuan transformation stories were first sung with illustrations before becoming written forms. And it spread to Indonesia with the paintings on a scroll. There it's called the Waeng Beber, and as many of us know, it's the precursor to the Waeng Kulit, the well-known shadow puppet play with gamelan. And picture story recitation made its way to Japan, where it goes by the name Itoki. It came from India, which is where the whole thing got started. La 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 la. The first mention of an Itoki performance can be found in the document Miscellaneous Notes on the Temple of Clarified Truth, dated the year 931. Now, Itoki took many different forms, including vertical scrolls subdivided into sections, horizontal scrolls set up on a stand in the temple, collections of booklets carried door to door, and even sets of dolls or figurines set up alongside the road. As the narrator rearranged the dolls into different tableaus, he'd sing songs about them, a sort of incipient puppet play. La 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 la. Itoki in turn became the Kamishibai with picture cards in a box, later mounted on bikes. The storyteller sold trinkets, sweets, and other kinds of trifles. And picture story recitation made its way to Iran, where it's called the Pardadar and the Partizan, and it went over into Europe, like to southern Italy, where illuminated scrolls from the 12th century were presented with sung prayers and narrative recitation. In 16th century Italia, the cantambanco appeared. The word means bench singer. The performer stood on a little bench and pointed to the pictures with a little stick. In Germany, the Bunkelsanger performed the Moritat. The content was now shifting from what was religious to what was not. These European picture stories were sensational tales of violence and gore. La 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 la. With the advent of the printing press, these European performers would sell broadsides and song sheets containing the texts to the songs in the show, and also wood-cut reproductions of the pictures. Now, the practice spread all throughout Europe and was called by all of these many different names in these many different languages. And for a truly exhaustive and amazing history of the form in the English language, I highly recommend this book, Painting and Performance by Victor H. Mayer. It's packed full of info and amazing, amazing pictures. Check it out. La 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 la. Now, brand new interest here in North America means there's a new kind of practice being invented by artists, puppeteers, and activists, many of them influenced by the bread and puppet theater. Despite the fact that picture storytelling took so many forms across so much space and time, certain characteristics are common to all of these various forms. First, the performers were of low social status, usually nomadic, vagrants, and poor, and their activities were associated with questionable things like shamanism, magic, swindlery, skullduggery, quackery, charlatanism, puppetry, and even acrobatics. Second, the practice was inherited. Paintings would be passed from generation to generation, as well as the songs and the knowledge of how to sing them. Third, the practice was associated with creative forms of income procurement, namely begging, and later the sale of all kinds of useless things like broadsides, potions, fake artifacts, trinkets, candy, and all kinds of other stuff. And lastly, the narrative image was central to the practice. Early Indian picture storytelling used call and response format, and the refrain was always drawing attention back to the painted image with the words, "Let us see." Later, European picture stories had the words, "Look, see, observe," painted right on the banners. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I invite all of you to look, see, and observe, and celebrate with me tonight the very ancient and very modern form of picture story recitation.